Okay, so we watched the Christopher Reeve Superman films from 1978 to 1987. Uh, I got this 4K box set recently. I don't know why I don't have 4K, but it had all the movies in it. It's actually got the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2, which we did not watch because we didn't want to get confused. But we're going to talk about all the movies. So, we will start with... I'm going to take these out one by one. Oh, that's the wrong one. No, it's not. Okay. Superman the movie from 1978, which of course stars Christopher Reeve as Superman, and Margot Kidder as Lois Lane. Lex Luthor is Gene Hackman. You've got Ned Beatty as Otis. Jackie Cooper as Perry White. Mark McClure. Am I just going to list the whole cast? Jimmy Olsen. Marlon Brando as Jor-El. Anyway, obviously it's Superman. You take over.
Superman. I love Superman. Christopher Reeve, awesome as Superman. Yeah, I love Superman. It wasn't always my go-to out of superhero movies because I was more of a Batman kind of girl. But now I think I have a new appreciation for Superman after watching them all together like that. I'm like, Superman, woo! Okay, so the first one, he's a baby, and he comes to Earth. Oh, and he's a cute little kid. Don't think he has a stitch of clothing on, does he? That was a little much. But, cute baby. I liked all that, because, I've seen the different, various different Superman shows, and that one's not mine, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is. That's why I don't have a Superman shirt. But, oh, I don't know. What was I saying? Yeah, I've watched all the Superman, different various ones, and he would probably be number one, maybe? I'm going to get some hate for not saying if he's not number one. I really like him. I like Lois and Clark as well. That's one of my favorites. And I like...
I like Terry Hatcher.
And I like Tom Welling. Smallville. Yeah. I like Smallville. I would probably say Smallville would be one of my favorites. Because I love Tom Welling, and he's still fine as can be as his old self. We getting old. Gene Hackman, he's good as a villain. He's good as a villain. He's good as Lex Luthor. I'm so used to them other people that I forgot he was actually Lex Luthor. I'm so used to the whole, no hair look. Did he have, wigs or something? Mm-hmm. Because I remember wigs. But I like the interaction between Clark Kent and Lois Lane, and then Superman and Lois Lane, and then she don't figure out it's him in this movie, I don't think. But she's thinking about it at one point, maybe. I don't know. I might be getting mixed up with part 2. But... Why can I not remember what happens in the first one? Okay. Is that the one where he had to go around the Earth? Okay. I liked that. And to go around the Earth and reverse everything and save Lois, and yeah, that was fun.
So, I think I enjoyed these movies more as an adult than I did as a kid. I think the pacing was really good in this one. When I was younger, I always thought it took forever to get to the good parts.
I think that's what it is. It just seems...
The part on Krypton seemed really long when I was a kid, and then, the stuff on the farm. But watching it this time, I thought it got to the Metropolis stuff pretty quickly. But I remember watching this movie like when it premiered on TV as a kid,
Wow.
which the internet says was 1982.
I wasn't born yet, so
Yeah, so
obviously.
but the main part I remember is Lois Lane's death scene. I remember that just being like really affecting me because her getting buried in the car was just like traumatizing. And then I think I watched it one time or I tried to watch it one time in high school. I was like at Papa's house by myself at night, and it was taking so long to get to the Metropolis parts, and something I had heard a noise or something and got really spooked out, and I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. It's nothing. I'm being silly, and I swear, from the corner of the room, like next to the TV, clear as day, I heard a clap. And I was like, nope, I'm going home. I don't care that it just got to the good part.
It was creepy up there. I think maybe there was something in that house.
But yeah, I think that the cast is really good. I like all the cast, and I think out of all the movies, the special effects hold up the best in this one, or they did to me. And then of course you've got John Williams' score, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Like there was that one scene with like the casual child abuse, like the girl, her cat was in the tree and Superman saves it, and she goes in the house and you just hear her going, "Mommy, mommy," I'm like a flying man or something got the cat out of the tree, and she's like, "I thought I told you to stop lying." I don't guess I have anything else to say about this, but this was of course the Superman I grew up with, so it has a special place in my heart. So what are you rating Superman the movie out of 5?
I have a new appreciation for it. Like you said, I think it's just things of the past when you're younger, and see, this was way before my time. So it was a lot harder for me to get into things that were before my time, because they just seemed like it took forever to get to the point or to get to something good, or I just was like bored with it. So I think that's what the problem has been with these for me, is it's just something of the past that just kind of has not caught up to me yet. And I think it finally did. So I'm going to give it a 4.5, because I like Superman and Lois, and I want to say this was probably one of my favorite ones out of all of them.
And I'm going to give it 5 pairs of pink underwear out of 5. Because I really enjoyed this one. Okay, so moving on to Superman 2. Okay, so Superman 2 from 1980. Lex Luthor teams up with the 3 exiled supervillains that we see at the beginning of part 1. Meanwhile, Superman gives up his powers to be with Lois Lane. So, should I go first this time, or
No.
do you want to? Okay.
I liked when they went to, is it Niagara Falls? And I liked all that scene with the water and everything. And then Lois thinks that Clark is Superman because they're never in the same spot, blah, blah, blah. And she decides to throw herself into the water. And then he doesn't save her. So he has to, be Clark the whole time and not go save her. And I thought that was fun. But then she does eventually figure out that he is Superman. So I did like all that kind of dynamic. And then they end up together. But this is not a thing that can happen. So, so basically he has to give up his powers for her. And she's all like, oh, And I gotta say, I don't like the villains. Like, I knew they were going to show up in one of the movies. I remembered them, because when it showed the scene in the first movie, I was like, Ugh, I remember them people. I did not like them. That was the thing I hated. I just mean, ugly, Superman-like people. I just don't like them. I never liked them. I don't know why, but I didn't like all that. Yeah, so he like has to go back and get his powers again, so he can defeat these ugly people, and then he has to erase Lois's memory again. He keep erasing her memory a lot, don't he? Anyways, I like this movie.
Okay, so like I said, we watched the regular theatrical version of this one. Apparently, from what I read, Richard Donner, who directed the first one, he got fired during the production of this one and replaced with Richard Lester, who directed the Beatles movies, Hard Day's Night and Help.
I like those movies.
So it sounds like it was kind of a troubled production, and it kind of shows. Like, this one used to be my favorite just because of the, like all the Lois and Clark stuff, but I don't think it holds up as well. The pacing wasn't as tight. Like, I didn't really enjoy the three villains as much either, although when I saw this on TV, which the internet says was 1984, yeah, I was terrified of the villains.
Was I born yet? I was born in 84, but I may not have been born yet.
I don't know exactly when it came on. I also really liked the Niagara Falls scene. That was probably my favorite. I do like, like the Clark, Superman, like that dynamic of him being like kind of clumsy and klutzy and awkward and stuff. He does that really well. When he gives up his powers, his hair got like all poofy. I didn't really like that.
That's the normal man hair.
And I noticed there's kind of some similarities between this movie and the plot to Wonder Woman 1984. I think, which is why I like that movie on second watch, because I didn't like it at first, but I think that's why I really liked that one, because it made me, think back to these movies. Yeah, so I enjoyed this one as well, just not quite as much as the first one. It may have been my least enjoyable one out of the four on this rewatch, but that could be because this is the one I saw the most, like when I was younger. So, and it just didn't hold up as well as I expected it to. So maybe that's on me. But what would you rate Superman 2 out of 5?
I think I would give it a 4, maybe.
And I will also give it 4 hot air balloons out of 5. Okay, moving on to Superman 3, which was also directed by Richard Lester and starring Richard Pryor.
Okay, I don't know if this movie gets a lot of hate or not, but I actually kind of liked it. I'm pretty sure I've seen all of these movies at least once before. And I couldn't remember a whole lot about it. But I do like Richard Pryor in this movie. It's funny. He's kind of on the wrong side, kind of criminal-like. He basically just wants money, though. He needs money to survive, kind of thing. So he ends up in the criminal kind of areas of stuff. Maybe on an accident. I don't know if he's naturally like that, because I can't remember. But, and ends up with the wrong crew, the bad people against Superman. But yeah, I kind of enjoyed this one. I mean, I liked the whole Richard Pryor thing, and some of it was fun. Some of it I may not have cared as much for, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so this is the only one that I saw in the theater. I saw this in 1983 on the same day that I saw Return of the Jedi. So basically, Return of the Jedi was the greatest movie of my childhood. And Superman 3 was actually the scariest. I was terrified of this movie. The ending where the woman gets turned into the robot, that was just the scariest thing I'd ever seen. And I mean, we're talking, I'd seen like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all these other
Oh
horror
my
movies. And
goodness.
this was the thing that terrified me the most.
Oh, that's funny.
I even remember I rewatched it in high school just to prove that it wasn't that scary, but even then I was kind of like, okay, ha ha ha, I've watched it, I know I never have to watch it again. Of course, I was still scared of everything back then too. But rewatching it, I really enjoyed it. I thought the comedy really worked in this one. Of course, Richard Pryor is awesome.
He is awesome.
You don't get very much Lois Lane at all.
No,
'cause
that's
she-
one of the things I didn't like.
which I didn't mind. I'll tell you why in a minute. But apparently, what I read, I don't know if this was true, but she had like, I guess in an interview said bad things about the producers or something because they had fired Richard Donner. So I think she said this was kind of them getting back at her for speaking out. I don't know if that's true. But, so they bring in Annette O'Toole as Lana Lang.
I did like her.
Is that how you pronounce it? Is it Lana or Lana? Lana?
I think it's Lana.
I can't remember. Which I really liked her. And of course, she went on to play Clark's mom on Smallville.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that Superman kind of turns evil in this one, I don't think I want to know how Lois would have reacted to that.
Right.
So I'm kind of okay with her not being in this one. And of course, the scenes we do get with Margot Kidder are excellent, even though it's, just barely. I remember, like, the junkyard scene, like, seeing that in the theater and that being kind of scary, like, as a kid. And I remember, like, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the thing with the...
Let me make it straight.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let me fix it again.
You've got, like, Robert Vaughn as kind of the I guess you could call him the Lex Luthor of this movie. He's kind of the criminal mastermind in this one. Or is his sister? Or was it his sister?
I think it was
Whoever the other woman
yeah,
is.
I think sister.
Yeah, but I remember that just being the most terrifying thing I'd ever seen. So, what are you going to rate Superman 3?
Superman 3. I think I'm going to give it a 4.2. Because I did enjoy it a little bit more. Mainly because of Richard Pryor. I mean, he just made it better for some reason.
Yeah, well, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to give this one 4 Leaning Tower of Pisa souvenirs out of 5. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It was fine. I thought, like, the comedy really worked. I mean, you don't have Lois Lane or Lex Luthor, but it's still pretty great. And lastly, we've got Superman 4, The Quest for Peace from 1987. I'll just let you get into it.
Well, okay, so we're trying to go for peace, so we're trying to get rid of all the nuclear weapons, and that is weird. We're just gonna put them all in a big net and swing it around and throw it into the sun. Let the sun get a little brighter, I guess. I don't know. That just seemed weird. Yeah, that is what happened in this movie, right? We got Lex Luthor is back, which I kind of like that. I kind of missed him when he wasn't there, but them other people were good. He's just an evil mastermind, and the other dude is not back. I don't know if we ever figure out what happened to Otis, but the girl is back though, right? Isn't girl back in this one, or am I thinking of a different one? I can't remember.
Is this the one where they went to the Fortress of Solitude, or was that the second one?
You know what? I don't even know. Anyways, moving on, because I can't say for sure. I can't say for sure.
I don't think she was in this one, but I'm not sure.
Anyways, she probably wasn't. I'm like I said, we watched them all together and I'm getting them all jumbled up. But this one is the one where he creates another being That's like Superman, but he's made out of what, the kryptonite or something or another, and forged in the sun. I don't know. He's forged out of the sun somehow, and the sun is his power, and when the sun's up, he can be big and bad and strong, and he's kicking Superman's butt, and I don't like that. I don't like this dude. I don't like these super evil villain people. I don't like him. But the movie was alright. Wasn't my favoriteest one, but yeah.
Yeah. So Lex Luthor breaks out of prison and uses Superman's DNA to create another supervillain.
That's what it was. I was halfway there. It did go up into the sun in a rocket.
So I saw this one in high school also on TV, and I remembered it not being that great. Like, it kind of felt like it hit you over the head with the message of getting rid of all the nuclear weapons, which apparently was Christopher Reeve's idea. Like, he only agreed to come back if they would make that the storyline or something. But I actually really enjoyed it this time. You've got a decent amount of Lois Lane, so that was fun. You kind of had that double date scene where they've brought Mariel Hemingway in as the kind of new love interest. Like, I guess they needed a younger love interest, but so for Clark. But then you've got Lois still kind of
hanging on to Superman.
Yeah, so that was fun. I like that you have Lex Luthor back, and you've got John Cryer as his nephew. He was fun, and I thought the supervillain was cool. The Nuclear Man, he was pretty cool. I liked him, like the design of him. He had, like, the
that was cool. I just don't like evil. villains. I hate when they're kicking Superman's butt. I'm just like, come on, Superman, squash him already.
According to Wikipedia, which, could or could not be correct, Wes Craven was supposed to direct at one point, but him and Christopher Reeve didn't get along, which seems kind of hard to believe because, like, Wes Craven always seems like such a gentleman in his interviews. So I don't know if that was true. And it said Christopher Reeve suggested Ron Howard, but they ultimately went with Sidney J. Furie or something.
Okay.
He directed the Iron Eagle movies. And Ron Howard at that point had directed Splash and Cocoon. Anyway, so I really enjoyed this one more than I thought I was going to. But what did you think of Superman 4, The Quest for Peace?
Superman 4. I'm going to give it a 4. Because it's number 4. It's a 4. The only thing I just don't like supervillains. I don't know. I just don't like them the same strength as Superman, I guess. That's what it is. But he was really cool. And I did like that everybody was back in this one. And I kind of missed Richard Pryor, though.
I'm going to give this 4 strands of super hair out of 5.
That's what it was. The super strong hair that was holding up the weight, whatever. Yeah. See, I think I was getting the movies mixed up together. There was somewhere that had something to do with kryptonite, and sometimes that was just, that when they was trying to make the weakness stuff or something. I don't know. I don't know what I be talking about. It just all jumbled in my head.
Anyway, I really enjoyed rewatching all the Superman movies, or the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and until next time.
Bye-bye. Adios, amigos. See you later. Hasta la vista.